Hey guys, Keys here back with another Bitcoin video. So it's already been a few months since I spoke about Bitcoin. The last video was in November and it's actually now February 1st, which is crazy. It's already been a few months. Bitcoin actually didn't do anything for a few months, right? Like this is the daily candle and you can kind of see the last video we made, Bitcoin was at 89K or 89 or 90K. It was like it was probably somewhere here. And this was kind of a while, right? Like it's already been 76 days. So Bitcoin went sideways for a few months and we recently started this sell off again. I don't know if we're going to bottom where we kind of bottomed are right now because the last time we came this low was in April. So 10 months ago, April 2025. And we got a pretty big bounce off of it, right? Like we actually put in a new all-time high. And I'll say this in the last video that since we already, we came up once, came to this level that we're at now around 76. We got a big bounce off of it. We put in a new all-time high. And I was saying, because I thought we were in a bear market, if we did come back down here, which now we have, we've already gotten the bounce. Like we already got a bounce off of it once. And I don't really expect us to get a big bounce like this again. Like I think we might bounce again. Like there is a chance we get another bounce, but if we did, I would expect it to be a lower high here and then continue going down here. Or, in my scenario, like in my opinion, the best case scenario for Bitcoin would to just be breakdown and just get it over with. Because in my opinion, we are going to come down. So if we just like take forever to actually break down, that's just going to waste more time and it's just going to make us all bored. And, it's just not something that we want to see. So I kind of want to talk about my plan with Bitcoin this year because this is, in my opinion, the bear market year. And that means that it's really the year to buy because you always want to buy in the bear market and sell in the bull market, right? So if it is the bear market year, which it's already looking like it is, then we're going to end up buying crypto this year. And there's actually two time frames where I really am going to start buying. One is around summertime, because I think around summertime we could see Bitcoin by then have a 50% pullback. And you can see right now from Bitcoin's all-time high at around 126, we're down around 38%. So we're not even down 40 yet. The lowest we got to actually was 40. So you can say we've gone 40% down. Actually, just say 40. I'm looking for at least a 50% correction, which would take us down to around 62. And in my opinion, that's the best case scenario because typically in Bitcoin bear markets, it's going to go down between 70 and 90%. I don't think we're going to get the 90% anymore. I think, honestly, if we're going to follow the pattern, it should be somewhere between like 50 to 70, just based off the previous bear market cycles. So, for example, 2019, 84, and then the last cycle in 2021, 2022, 77, right? So I think there's a chance it's in the 70s again, but it's definitely getting less each time. So maybe it's in the 60s. But, even if we go down 70% from the all-time high, 70 would put us around 36K, 37. So in the 30s again. And if we're just like in the 60s, let's just say 60%, around 50K. So, if we only get a 50% correction here around 63, that would actually be a really small bear market. But basically my plan with Bitcoin is wait for at least a 50% correction. Whenever that happens, I think it'll take a few more months because Bitcoin's just taking so long to do everything. Like sometimes it just takes so long. But maybe we get lucky and we kind of just go straight down. That, in my opinion, would be better. But around 50% is around 63. So once we see Bitcoin in the 60s, maybe like mid 60s, that's probably when I'll start buying. I'm obviously not going to go all in at once, but I'm going to start accumulating Bitcoin when we see it in the 60s. And if we do come down to the 30s, in my opinion, the lowest level Bitcoin will come down to is 32K. It's actually a level that to me actually makes a lot of sense. I mean, it's 75% down from the all-time high, which matches the bear markets of around, 80 to 70, 70 to 80%. So that would match like a typical bear market drop. And it's the level that we held a support for so long in 2021, held it as resistance when we got underneath it, and then we couldn't break above it again either in 2023. And then once we did in October of 2023, we didn't get like a retest here. Like we didn't come back down and then go up, which I actually was expecting back in October here. I was waiting for a retest for a while, and then once we like confirmed we weren't going to get it, that's when I was really bullish again. But we never got the retest of this level, and we just went up. And so we actually came all the way back down to retest it. We held this level as the bear market bottom, and then we go back up, you know, into the next bull market, going towards 200K probably at that point. That would be, this is like the best case scenario because, you know, Bitcoin at 30K at that point is really cheap. And then it, you know, we know that's probably close to the bear market bottom at that point because it's 75%. And then if we are going to go towards, you know, 200K or maybe even like 180 or something, from 30 to 180 or 30 to like 210 or something, that's like a 6 or 7x, right? So we'll be able to make a good amount of money if it does go to 30. I don't know if we'll get it, but that's the lowest level, I think. And yeah, I mean, Bitcoin is just kind of, it's going down right now. I don't know if we'll continue the slide. So actually a comparison that I've been looking at for Bitcoin for a while now is the 2021 comparison. So you can kind of see, you know, we put an all-time high, came down to this level, and then we were able to put in a higher high. And then we got the bear market. And during this period here, this was when everyone was saying we were still bull, and people are still saying we're in the bull market. So it's exactly the same as last time. We went sideways here for a while too, right? Like this was kind of a while. Let's see how long it was. It was about like 104, 105 days. So that's already like a few months. We went sideways, kind of like up sideways, right? Like we were kind of going higher here. And then we sold off, right? And when we got the sell-off here, it was like kind of a brutal sell-off. You know, we kind of went straight down. We took out this level. Once we took it out, we actually tried holding it, right? Like we were kind of like, we went underneath it here. You can kind of see like this low here was much lower. So we definitely went underneath it, but then we tried holding it. We came back to it and kind of consolidated here for a little bit. And then we like put in this leg down here, which this wasn't the bottom, but honestly, if you bought anywhere here in like 18 to 20K, you basically bought the bottom. Like you could have gone a little bit cheaper at 15K here, but if you bought it at 20K, I don't think you're really that upset that you missed out on buying it at 15K. And so basically the plan now is we're kind of doing something similar, right? So looking at this pattern again, I'm gonna keep it up so you guys can see. So we went up, we go up, we come back down, we find this support here, that would be here. Then we go up and put in a higher high, a new all-time high. That's what we did here. We went up, put in a new all-time high. Now, then we got the crash. We got the first crash down here. And then we kind of got this counter trend rally here. That's what this is, if we're comparing it. And then we got this leg down here, which basically took us to the bottom. It still took a little bit of time, right? Like from when we really broke down to when we bottomed, it was about a month. So it still was pretty fast. Like a month isn't that long, but it wasn't just like, you know, a few days or anything. It still took a month. So if we are maybe going to start, you know, if we can compare it, because does look similar. So based off this comparison, and there's so many things you can compare, so you don't have to look at it just this way. But if we're going to start, you know, pulling this leg down here, what does that mean? Well, first of all, we're already at this level here, right? Like we're at the same level we were at before, which is kind of like being right here. So it's kind of like we're here. So last time we spent about a month here. If we spend a little bit of time just going sideways here, that's going to be really boring, but it would kind of match what we did last time. And then maybe we spend all of February down here trying to hold to this level. And then maybe at the end of February going into March, we get the leg down, which would be similar to this. And then at that point, I obviously don't know how low it's going to go at that point. I still think we're going to go lower than where we are now, which is why I haven't bought any yet. You know, maybe that leg puts us down like into the 50s, like 50% of a correction, you know, into the 60s or maybe even into the 50s. And at that point, I think I would start buying. you know, once we come into this, basically, let me remove all this now. Basically, once we come into this box of liquid, this box that we've been, I don't know why the box isn't showing. There it is. Basically, once we come into this box, which you can kind of see, we're kind of trying to hold really, we're trying to hold above it right now, but I think we're going to come into it. I think once we're in this box, like, you know, somewhere into this like mid box at this point, I think that's when I'm going to first start buying. I don't know when that's going to happen. And then if we do come down to like the 40s and 30s, I'm going to start aggressively buying at that point. I'm not going to all in at one point at once because, you know, you can never all in. And in one like buy, you should always, you know, just in case, but that's really the plan. It's really just to wait, try to start accumulating in the 60s. If we do get a 30 some K Bitcoin, I would probably go all in at that point. Like that's the last level. Like I'm not really expecting it to go any lower. So if we did go lower after 30 some K, that would be a bit, you know, obviously I still think Bitcoin will recover, but that's the lowest level I'm thinking of. So that's really the plan, is to really do nothing. Another thing I want to say is what we're going to do this cycle that we didn't do last cycle is only stick with Bitcoin, because I could have made way more money if I only bought Bitcoin than buying all these other coins that I have on the side. Obviously, so I'm going to follow them because at some point, I think that these coins will make a really big move up, but it just makes way more sense to buy Bitcoin, in my opinion, right now. And I'm still gonna buy some assets. Like if Bitcoin does come down to these levels here and here, I'll probably mainly buy Bitcoin, but I'll probably buy a couple. I'm thinking Litecoin, maybe Ethereum, and maybe Doge. Those are like the three that I'm kind of looking at other than Bitcoin. But majority of it's gonna go into Bitcoin. Like at least 70% of the money I put in will probably be in Bitcoin. So that's really it, guys. That's the update. We'll see what we do. Like, hopefully, we kind of just slice right through it. I'm not really expecting us to, but it would be really nice if we did, so we could just get it over with. But we'll have to see how it plays out. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.